A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, hello.
Serious Rock Talk, back on the dial, traveling at a speed at 33 1/3 RPMs. Not 78 RPMs, because those hardly exist anymore.
No.
But the 33 1/3 will always bring you to your new vinyl listening destination.
Sure they will.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Ferris Kennedy, and in the studio with me, as always, my good old friend and sidekick,
Dr. Ian Clark. Wonderful to be here.
Yes, and today is a special day. Well, every day is always special when you come into the studio because we always have fun and we always pull out some good content for you listeners, and we appreciate you.
What are we doing today?
Power rock trios.
We have never done that before.
We have not, and I just want to open up with a 12-sentence paragraph.
Go ahead.
Have you ever listened to a band and pondered how they achieve their unique sound? Most bands typically consist of a lead singer, guitarist, drummer, bassist, and sometimes a keyboardist to create a distinctive musical experience. Personally, I find rock bands captivating, regardless of their size, if their music resonates with me. I am fully engaged. However, let us shift our focus to power rock trios, which consist of just 3 members.
3 members.
Tre. A drummer, bassist, and a guitarist, with 1 member also taking on vocal duties. Notable examples include Rush and the Beastie Boys. At first glance, this may seem like an unusual pairing, but both bands exemplify the trio format effectively. Rush features a bassist who not only serves as a lead vocalist, but also plays keyboards, essentially functioning as a trio within a trio. Their progressive rock sound has remained consistent throughout their career, even as they explored various rock sub-genres. In contrast, the Beastie Boys share vocal responsibilities among all 3 members, occasionally incorporating keyboards, yet their sound has evolved dramatically, traversing punk, metal, rap, grunge, and hard rock. This adaptability reflects their changing landscape of music and its diverse subgenres. We will delve deeper into these bands later, but for now, let us consider other successful power rock trios, Dr. Clark.
Sure. I think when you look at it, trios started to get footholds in the 60s. And I think it was a combination of factors. One was advancements in amplification. It really was. And fewer musicians. Fewer musicians, and it sounds silly, but fewer musicians mean you don't have to pay as many people. You can get more out of the pot. So that was definitely a factor with trio. Format also, I think, allowed for a more direct expression of musical ideas. I'll get the cream in these kind of guys. Often guys form trios to demonstrate their musicianship. So let's take an historical view of trios. The first one up is a bit of a surprise. The Blue Moon Boys. Founded in 1954, the Blue Moon Boys were an American rock and roll trio featuring lead guitarist Scotty Moore, bass player Bill Black, and a singer and guitar player named, I don't know, Elvis Presley. Okay, enough said. The Jimi Hendrix Experience. For New York City, 1966, a woman named Linda Keith, girlfriend of Keith Richards, noticed Hendrix playing in a bar. She recommended him to Stones manager Andrew Luke Oldham. He said, nah, no deal. So she referred him to Chas Chandler, who was leaving the Animals and wanted to start managing. Following Hendrix's arrival in London, Chandler began recruiting members of the Jimi Hendrix Experience. By the way, we're so used to saying the Jimi Hendrix Experience. That is such a 60s type of title. And the 60s experience was really important.
It's interesting he got his success in England.
I know.
And he's American.
Yeah, he was in the U.S. military.
Yeah.
He met Noel Redding in an audition for the new Animals, where Redding's knowledge of blues progressions impressed Hendrix, and Hendrix also said he was impressed by Redding's hairstyle. Listen, who knows, right? Shandler found drummer Mitch Mitchell, and then we have the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Are you experienced?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so druggy. By the way, Chandler also persuaded Hendrix, I didn't know this, to change the spelling of his first name from Jimmy to the more exotic Jimi. So, folks, you heard it here first. That's why you tune in. Before I turn it over to Mr. Kennedy, I want to mention a trio that really stands out due to their instrumentation, and that's Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. So you have the late, great Keith Emerson on keyboards, Greg Lake on bass, and Carl Palmer on drums. An amazing drummer, by the way. As I said, that's a strange setup. Sometimes Lake would pick up a guitar. Their final performance took place in 2010 to commemorate the band's 40th anniversary. Both Emerson and Lake died in 2016, leaving Palmer as the only surviving member. Anyway, interesting instrumentation, a keyboard, bass, drums. There you go.
So before I get into the first band, I do want to mention another trio. It's called the Harry Levin Trio. It was a band based out of the 80s, and they didn't have that much success because they went back into the deli business. That's the whole pun of that. Ian's like, Harry Levin Trio.
Oh my God.
Do you know where the reference came from?
No.
Remember the show Full House?
No.
Joey Gladstone, Dave Coulier's character?
No. I never saw it.
You never saw Full House?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, well, anyways, that's...
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's where it came up with the trio. But anyways, I got The Police, and obviously they were active from 77 to 86.
Yep.
London-based, obviously, consisting of Sting on bass and lead vocals, Andy Summers on guitar,
Yeah.
and the great Stuart Copeland on drums. Initially, the band featured two guitarists, Henry Padovani as the first member from January to August of 77.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Then after Padovani's departure, Summers, who had been like the second guitarist, I guess like a rhythm guy.
Oh, he's an amazing guitar
It's
player.
fantastic. And he remained with the group, ultimately contributing to their success. It's not a lot of bad little run, I guess, from 77 to 86,
That's-
9 years.
That's pretty good for a rock band. If a rock band gets 10 years, they're kings.
They did, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums, so what, whenever you...
That's all you
second
need.
year.
You know, they were huge.
You know, I like the name Atlandos d'Amour, Regata de Blanc, Zenyatta Mondada, Ghost in the Machine, and then Synchronicity.
Yeah. They were huge albums, by the way.
Huge.
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 It's the next one here, yes.
Yeah, I got ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Now, the little band from Texas, as they call themselves, formed in Houston, been active since '69, and they continue to perform today. Originally featured Billy Gibbons, Frank Beard, and the late great Dusty Hill on bass, passed away in 2021.
Yeah.
So over nearly 56 years, ZZ Top cultivated a distinctive sound characterized by Gibbons' blues-influenced guitar work, complemented by the solid rhythm section of Hill and Beard. Interesting enough that they gained a majority, or actually a good portion of their success in Texas. They never left Texas till the 80s.
No. And I can just throw in a big part of the success were their incredible videos. Boy, those videos still
With
are.
that car. They have that...
They had a logo. They had everything.
Yeah.
They had the ZZ called the ZZ Mix. You always knew a ZZ Top song. That grinding guitar. No, they were great.
And they got, what, 15, 16 albums?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
But remember, they've been around since 69.
they opened for Hendrix. I mean,
That's a long time.
It's a long time ago. Next up is Grand Funk Railroad. Yeah, great band. Originally, by the way, formed in '69. Originally 5-piece band, but 2 guys quit. And as the band still had contractual agreements, they continued as a trio. In other words, total fluke. By '71, Grand Funk equaled the Beatles' Shea Stadium attendance record, but sold out the venue in just 72 hours, whereas the Beatles took a few weeks to sell out. They were very, very popular live, Grand Funk Railroad.
Not a bad one.
Next up is America. Who actually had some albums produced by George Martin. British-based American rock band formed in London in '70 by Dewey Bunnell, Dan Peake, and Gary Beckley. The trio met as sons of U.S. Air Force personnel stationed in London. They had some great kind of soft rock songs in the 70s, and they are still around.
Interesting fact about America, they was a small little snippet on the classic vinyl. The lead singer that you just mentioned,
Gary or something? Yeah.
he talked about how they were very close friends with Chicago
Oh,
and how they had a lot of popularity back in the day. They also released a greatest hits album, and unfortunately their timing was bad because they played second fiddle to Chicago's
greatest hits,
and
yeah.
so Chicago obviously topped the charts.
Yeah.
With that album, they came second fiddle, which is too bad because America does have some solid hits.
Horse with No Name, and all. They had some great songs.
Sister
Yeah,
Golden Hair,
yeah, really.
you know. Next I got here is Rush. Well, what can you say about the legendary Canadian progressive rock band that's left an indelible mark on the history of music? Formed in the late 60s in Toronto. I thought
Oh,
it was
yes.
Burlington, but Toronto.
North
so.
York, I think.
Band originally consisted of guitarist Alex Lifeson, bassist and vocalist Geddy Lee, and drummer John Rutsey. Their self-titled debut album, released in '74, is considered a classic, a must-have for any serious rock musician collection. The album showcased the band's raw talent and unique blend of hard rock and progressive elements. However, after the success of the first album, unfortunately Rutsey was diagnosed with diabetes and had to step back from the band due to the demanding nature of touring and the toll it would take on his health. In search of a new drummer, they found the professor, Mr. Neil Peart. Now, I don't know if he ever even taught at school, but it sounds pretty cool. Again, talented musician and lyricist who become known as the Professor. First album with the band was Fly By Night, which featured the hit song Spirit of Radio, which he wrote. Over the years, they've released numerous critically acclaimed and commercially successful albums, cementing their status as one of the greatest and most influential bands in history of rock. The virtuoso musicianship of these three men they influenced Eddie Van Halen, David Grohl, Cliff Burton, and Steve Harris, just to name a little bit of their impact.
Sure.
And again, they have done, music work with synthesizers and all that. They got 18 albums.
They have live stuff, and
Yeah.
they used to sell at Maple Leaf Gardens every year. It
Like
was-
I got pretty well all the way up until I got a lot of vinyl of them. Jeez, I gotta rethink my life. But yeah, okay. No wonder my spouse is mad at me. I have no more room. Yes, I have almost every Rush album.
really, out goes Rush.
No, I can't. I like them.
Who's up next?
I got one of my favorite bands. I hope they're yours too, Ian. The Beastie Boys. It's an influential American hip hop and rock ensemble.
Adam and the guy.
Yeah, that's it. Adam Yaw, Adam MCA, Adam Horowitz, so Ad Rock, and then Mike Diamond. So again, Adam Ad Rock, he's the vocals guitar. MCA, he's the bass vocals, and Mike D, vocals and drums. They emerged actually from the experimental hardcore punk band Young Aborigines, which included Diamond, Jeremy Shatton, John Barry, and later Kate Schellenbach. Following Shatton's departure in '81, Yaw took over on bass, leading to the formation of the Beastie Boys. With Horowitz soon replacing Barry, the band gained local recognition with their 1983 comedic hip-hop single, Cookie Puss, marketing their full shift to hip-hop after Schellenbach's exit. Their collaboration with Madonna in '85 preceded the release of their debut album Licensed to Ill in '86, which notably became the first rap album to reach top of the Billboard 200 chart. They are the only band that can transition on a drop of a dime from punk, metal, rap, hip-hop, grunge, hard rock, alternative, and they were active from '79 to 2012. That's when Adam Yaw had passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
And they did 8 albums.
That long ago, okay.
Yeah, 8 albums. So and they did from '86 to 2011. So they produced until for Adam,
Yeah, they made a lot of goofy videos
a lot of
too.
goofy videos. But again, it's nostalgia. It's
Yeah.
that whole the music mimicked the
Yeah.
fashion. They played it. Right?
Sure they did. They're very clever.
Yeah.
Who's up? Oh, one of your faves.
Of course, Nirvana. Like every music genre, is always a big four, And grunge was no exception. Nirvana came into mix in 87 with their album Bleach. A band that emerged from Aberdeen, Washington, was founded by lead vocalist and guitarist Kurt Cobain alongside bassist Chris Novoselic. Group experienced a series of drummers, with Chad Channing being a notable member before the arrival of Dave Grohl in 1990. Their rise to fame played a pivotal role in popularizing alternative rock, positioning himself as a defining band for Generation X. Nirvana's music continues to resonate with audiences and exerts a lasting influence on rock culture. By the late 1980s, they had firmly established themselves within the Seattle grunge scene, and they did only 4 studio albums.
That was it, eh?
4. Yeah, Bleach, Nevermind, In Utero, and the MTV Unplugged.
Extremely, again, you don't have to like them. Extremely influential band.
Important too to music.
Yeah, really. Well, I'm going to talk about Cream, the ultimate rock, or The Cream, the proper title. The ultimate rock trio, really. The British rock supergroup formed in London in 1966, consisted of bassist Jack Bruce, guitarist Eric Clapton, and drummer Ginger Baker. Bruce was the primary songwriter and vocalist. They called themselves The Cream or Cream because pretentiously they considered themselves to be creme de la creme. Clapton said later they all regretted the name. No kidding. Clapton, you know what I mean? What a silly bloody thing. Clapton commented that Cream's later gigs mainly consisted of its members showing off. So it's no surprise they broke up 2 years later in 1968.
Now, is Cream the same thing as Derek and the Dominoes, or was that
No.
different?
Another band, Derek and Dominoes was a band that Clapton started later with Jim Gordon, a few guys, and they didn't produce much, but they produced Layla.
That's it.
One of the, what? It's like writing the Bible. Layla? Really one of the greatest rock
I love when you
songs.
say that. So, what?
What? I mean, top it.
I
How
love
can
it.
you can't do it?
It's like that's the mic drop for Ian.
Yeah, it really is. Layla, what? It's over, right? What a
Quoi?
great... Quoi, oui.
Well, what is better known as a rock trio or metal trio than Motorhead?
Motorhead.
Influential English rock band established in London in 1975 by the man himself, bassist and lead vocalist
Lemmy.
Kilmister, alongside guitarist Larry Wallace and drummer Lucas Fox. Obviously, Kilmister was the band's primary songwriter and the only consistent member throughout its history. Played a pivotal role in shaping their sound, often regarded as a forerunner of the new wave of British heavy metal. Geez, don't say new wave in front of Lemmy, he'll come down and slap you. Motorhead significantly revitalized the heavy metal genre during the late 70s and early 80s, while various musicians contributed to the band over the years. Their most acclaimed albums and singles prominently featured drummer Phil "Filthy Animal" Taylor and guitarist Fast Eddie Clarke. No relation, Ian?
No, I don't think so.
From 95 until the disbandment in 2015. So what did they do? Well, 23 studio albums and 10 live recordings. They were
My
very
good
prominent
God,
and visible at their
23.
time. 20, yeah, right here. Here's a friggin'
Good
list.
Lord.
You know, I like the first one, Motorhead,
Yeah, I'm going to say, often the first is, I hate to say it, often the best. But
and then they have like towards the end Motorizer. But I just like the way you always said it. You know, when you name your band, your first album, like the Beatles, the White Album. Well, it's just the Beatles.
I know.
And then Metallica, the black one, well, it's just Metallica. They just call it the Black Album, but it's really just Metallica. And you said that, you had said something about whenever bands start doing that, they should really gain some recognition first before they start.
Usually that's the idea. That's why the Beatles could do that. Because,
But they did it later.
well, 68, but by 68, we were so famous, we'll just call it the Beatles.
Because Rush's first album was just Rush.
Usually the bands don't do that, but anyway,
We should probably do a show on bands that did that.
bands that did that. It's kind of pretentious, but with Rush, hey, it worked out. Well, I'm going to talk about Genesis, English rock band, prog rock, 1967. The band's longest lasting and most commercially successful lineup consisted of keyboardist Tony Banks, bassist guitarist Mark Rutherford, and drummer-singer Phil Collins. There's your trio. In the 70s, during which the band included guys like Peter Gabriel and guitarist Steve Hackett. They were among the pioneers of prog rock. Banks and Rutherford have been the only constant members throughout the band's history. Very, very good musicians. I'll leave it at that.
Blink-182, complete 180 from Genesis. Again, a prominent American rock band that originated in Poway, California. In 1992, the band's most recognized lineup features bassist and vocalist Mark Hoppus, guitarist and vocalist Tom DeLonge, and drummer Travis Barker. Listen, guys, these guys are what they are. They're not trying to be anybody else. They were quite happy doing what they did. They released, I'd say, 2, 4, 6, 8, like 10 albums in a span from 95 to 2023. So, they got that Southern California skate punk scene going on. Yeah. Their videos are funny. They're quirky.
Quirky, yeah.
And you know what? They made music in the 90s, man. Like, they were there for a reason. Yeah. So they're kind of like new punk.
Hard to classify them.
It's hard to classify, but they're good.
These guys aren't hard to classify. Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Not young?
Not for trio. Formed in '68, shortly after Crosby, Stills, Nash. Okay, how can they angle this in? They got together because all of them had been kicked out or left previous groups. Crosby had been asked to leave, as in fired, from the Byrds in late '67. Stills' band, Buffalo Springfield, broke up in early '68, and Nash left his band, the Hollies, in December. So they're all just floating around. They signed a recording contract with Atlantic Records in early '69. Their first album, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, had rather sweet Judy Blue Eyes on it. Amazing.
It's based out of
Judy Collins.
That's it. Why did I say Judy Bloom? Judy Collins.
Marrakesh Express. In preparation for touring, the trio added Neil Young, Stills' former bandmate from Buffalo Springfield. So the trio becomes a quartet. But speaking of trios, let me continue with the Bee Gees. I love the Bee Gees. They were, especially Barry Gibb, was ridiculously talented and wrote almost as much successful music in terms of ratings as the Beatles. Formed in '58, brothers Barry, Robin, and Maurice. They were really big in the late '60s and early '70s, dry period, and then they knocked it out of the park with Disco and Saturday Night Fever. Wonderful 3-part harmonies and great songwriting, as I said.
Though, the Bee Gees, I found the earlier stuff was Robin that took a lead on
a few really good point.
I love the song Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
And I started a joke.
I know. That's Robin.
He's awesome.
He was really good.
So, and then as they went to more of that tragedy,
they got Barry. Barry discovered a falsetto.
And then Morris,
Morris did harmonies. Great musician, by the way. Great, incredible bass player. Who knew?
Yeah. The next band I have is an influential American rock band originated from Rodeo, California in '87, basically known as Green Day. Founded by Billy Joe Armstrong, Mike Dirnt, and the drummer Tré Cool. I like that. T-R-E with the accent aigu.
I know.
Très cool. C'est très, très cool. That's a Quebec thing. So the major label debuted Dookie, which was released in 1984. And what could you tell you about these guys? Listen, they're still going. I'm actually going to see them in concert shortly. Mm-hmm. They released over a dozen albums.
American Idiot was huge.
They've been around since '87. They're still going.
Sometimes I think trios, there's only 3 guys. I don't know. If one quits, it stops. So they really bond. They just don't quit.
They're basically emerged from the vibrant Bay Area punk scene in the 80s.
Yeah, I always saw them as pretty punky.
I consider them punky. Yeah.
Punk pop almost. Like they're not angry.
No, Sex Pistols were very angry.
Really angry.
They were just pissed.
Yeah, mega pissed.
Yeah. Am I next or you next?
Let me talk about Triumph. They were a Canadian hard rock band, formed in '75, popular in the '70s and '80s. They formed in Toronto. They featured Rick Emmett, a great guitar player, still is a great guitar player, Mike Levine playing bass, keyboards, and Gil Moore on drums. one of those bands I expected to do more, record more, whatever, because they're all such great musicians.
The next one I got, staying in Canada, I guess, hailing from Windsor, Ontario,
Yeah.
home of Oliver Platt, we have the Tea Party. And they came onto the music scene in the early 90s with a unique and captivating sound that blended elements of rock, blues, progressive rock, and Middle Eastern music. Good lord, that's a hell of a mouthful. Founded by Jeff Martin, Stuart Chatwood, and Jeff Burrows, the Tea Party quickly gained attention for their powerful live performances, and Jeff Martin's distinctive guitar playing style, often using a cello bow on his guitar strings to create haunting psychedelic sounds reminiscent of Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Wonder who influenced you, my friend. And with his deep, resonant voice that drew comparisons to Jim Morrison and his poetic, historic writing style, Martin helped establish the Tea Party as a formidable creative force, and they're still going.
Still going, I know.
Still going.
The Stampeders, formed in Calgary, 1964. I don't think they were called the Stampeders back then. I saw them twice in their prime, an amazing band. Ronnie King bass, Richard Dodson guitar, and Kim Burley on drums. They were a real power trio. They are like Grand Funk, what trios can do. And they had from Sweet City Woman, they had some great, I'll call them kind of AM poppy hits.
All right. So this one here I have is a little bit funny, and the reason why I'm bringing this up because the sequel is coming out this summer. Spinal Tap
Sure.
is a fictional heavy metal band from England conceived by the American comedians and musicians of the TV show. That's what it was. The band features Michael McKean as lead singer and guitarist, David St. Hubbins, Christopher Guest as guitarist Nigel Tufnell, and Harry Shearer as bassist Derek Smalls, known for being one of England's loudest bands.
That's it.
Spinal Tap deserves a place among rock power trio, despite their fictional status. And believe it or not, they actually have 3 albums.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
This is Spinal Tap, released in '84. Break Like the Wind,
Yeah, I know.
1992. And then they did one, Back from the Dead, in 2009.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, the joke is a double joke because all those guys are really good musicians. Who knew? They're just actors
It
that
was
can.
funny though. Like,
Yeah, I love that movie. I saw when it came out, and it was a low release with not much attention. I walked in, I saw it, and for the first 10 minutes, I thought it was a real band. Somehow I hadn't heard of.
same here.
I didn't know. And then after about 10 minutes, I saw Rob Reiner, the director's head, kind of popping around. I thought, okay, no way, this is a joke band.
What was his
Okay.
name? He went by Meathead. What was his real name in All in the Family? They called him Meathead.
Yeah, that's all I can remember his name being. Michael somebody.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Mike.
And
Yeah.
he was married to Gloria.
Gloria. And that's it.
Do you have any more?
I don't have any more,
I
but
have one last one.
go ahead.
Okay, and this one here, they are very influential. They're not rock. It's Run DMC, and they're influential American hip hop group formed in '83 in Hollis, Queens, by Joseph Simmons, Daryl McDaniels, and Jason Mizell. It is often celebrated as a pivotal force in the evolution of hip hop, particularly during the 1980s. While they are not a rock band, their significance to the rock genre is noteworthy. In the late 1970s, Aerosmith experienced a decline in popularity. But in 1986, Run DMC revitalized their career through a collaboration on their reimagined version of Aerosmith's classic hit, Walk This Way. This successful crossover not only propelled the song to top the charts, but also marked a turning point in music, paving the way for future collaborations between rap and rock artists such as Public Enemy with Anthrax, Ozzy Osbourne with Post Malone, and Linkin Park with Jay-Z. Now, they have 7 albums that they did. And the reason why I brought them up, and Ian has backed me up on this, Aerosmith, at one point in time, they were just not good anymore. They just kind of quietly laid low until Run DMC called them up and said, we'd love to do this song.
No, absolutely. They were going out of business. The Toxic Twins were doing way too many drugs. I saw them. They were dreadful live. This is in the 70s. And yeah, Run DMC, it helped them too. But mainly, I think it helped Aerosmith.
Because
Yeah.
they did what? After that, they did Permanent Vacation, Pump, and then Get a Grip. That's back to back to back bangers.
That, yeah, they're a freakish group that way. Usually when you're on your way out, you're on your way out. The best is behind you, as they say. It wasn't with Aerosmith. I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did.
I like to say Run DMC had a small part in it.
They sure did. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that. I know that you love that story.
I do, and it's just because I love both bands. That's why. And
Yeah.
growing up, I'm fortunate to grow up in that era.
Yeah.
And Ian, you saw it live.
I saw it live.
And, I saw Aerosmith in '94, and they were good.
Yeah, right.
But you saw them when they weren't.
They shouldn't have. It was over. There's way too much cocaine and stuff.
It's too bad. But hey, look, they made a career out of it.
Yeah, they pulled it off.
Thank you, Run DMC.
I know. God bless them. Well, thanks for that. Very interesting.
And that is all I have.
That's all I have, and I hope you enjoyed our show today about rock trios. And any more, that idea came from one of you out there sending an email in. Please keep sending them in. We'll do our best to answer them.
I'm signing off as Ferris Kennedy.
And I'm signing off as Dr. Ian Clark.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.